Hey guys, and welcome to the Captain Fizz Mask Guy Show. We are back after taking the last week off for several reasons, which I'm sure we'll get into as we go along. Tonight we will be talking about our experiences with Ener-Con, and we might even bring up a certain 25th anniversary of an animated series.
I wonder which one.
Could it be SpongeBob?
Absolutely, SpongeBob.
Absolutely. So sit back, relax, listen to the tune, and we'll be back in a moment.
Hey guys, and welcome back to the Captain Fizz and Mask Guy Show. Of course, we were off last week due to the fact that I am working like a dog, but there's good reasons for it, and that's because, well, my warehouse was moving, and all that overtime is going towards an Xbox One, so I can actually start live streaming. Yay! The small victories.
Thank God for the small victories.
Otherwise, if it wasn't for all the overtime, I don't think I can afford it. Or even think about looking at it.
Probably, yeah, what are you talking about? You wouldn't even be thinking about it.
Probably not. So while he's doing social media, I'm actually going to talk about the fact that we've always grumbled and complained about Winnipeg weather. Yesterday was the ultimate messed up Winnipeg weather. I was walking over to my buddy In Chaos. Wow, I almost forgot his name, which is really sad. So I was walking over to his place, and it decided to rain. Now, when it rains, for most people, it usually rains everywhere, and you know, everybody gets soaked, and you know, end of story. Not really much to say. Well, for me, I'm walking down the street, and for some godforsaken reason, I had the most abnormal weather system sitting above me. I had this suntan-worthy sun on my left, which is pretty much baking me like a potato in a microwave. And on my right, I am completely soaked as if I'm taking a shower. And I'm like down the middle. You can pretty much see it. Like, if you didn't know it was raining, you would think I was just massively sweating, or mutated to the point I'm only sweating on one half of my body. So I actually almost was tempted to walk backwards just so I can kind of suntan the other part of my body and, you know, maybe dry off like, you know, I wouldn't say man-made, but like a sauna that, you know, I can walk in and I'm fully clothed, because if I was naked in this sauna, I think the cops would be trying to catch me, and that's a whole different story. There's not enough baby oil in the world to make that entertaining.
Okay.
So that's pretty much our Winnipeg weather in a nutshell. You're hot, you're cold, you're wet, you're dry, you're covered in snow, you're wishing, you know, you had an air conditioning.
There's a joke on, usually it's for people living on the East Coast, pardon me. What do you do if you don't like the weather? You wait 5 minutes.
Well, here in Winnipeg, if you don't like the weather, walk a block. Or just take a sidestep sideways, like, you know, Mr. Krabs from SpongeBob. Just kind of scuttle over. So that's pretty much our weather in a nutshell, and that's what, you know, annoyed me, because I was wet and dry, and it's like the most irritating feeling that you could possibly have, because you don't know what to do. You don't know whether to cool off or dry yourself off.
Yeah, totally agree.
I was kind of hoping that social media would be done by now.
It is done. I've just
social media is done.
I'm all I'm doing right now.
Hello, Bubbles. Welcome for joining us. And that was a butchered statement. Okay. Yes. Welcome to the show.
Welcome to the Captain Fizz and Mask Guy show. Seriously, all I'm doing right now is I'm just finishing up by tagging the show to the top of our Twitter page.
All right. And yes, Texas would probably drive us nuts right now, partly because I have this inconceivable fear of water and boats.
Can't forget the boats.
You can't forget the boat. I have this.
You're a captain.
I know. I'm a boatless captain. Remember that. Someone stole my boat.
You're like Captain
2 years
Morgan,
ago. I'm always like Captain Morgan, except for the fact
you never leave dry land.
Except for the fact that the more I drink, the less I stand like a captain. So, just saying. And we all say hi to Kayla as well, who is getting her hair dyed purple.
Kayla.
Purple streaks.
Super Kayla.
Yes, Super Kayla. So,
I don't know. I could put my.
Yes, I am afraid of boats, Weem. I'm afraid that if I turn a blind eye, they will transform and use propellers on me and cut me up like the Texas Chainsaw Massacre.
For some reason, though, I just want to sing 2 pina coladas. So
yeah. So we're gonna get into our actual topic of the night, which is Ener-Con, which was 2 weeks ago.
10 days ago, I think. So.
Yeah. Whatever, something like that. We can't count. It was a day-ish.
Yeah, it probably literally was like 10 days ago. But I mean, who am I to go off and to try to...
Stop doing math. This is not math hour. If this was math hour, we'd have no listeners.
For a podcast. No, I don't have time to do another podcast.
If we had a math hour podcast, we would have no listeners. They would all be falling asleep.
Actually, we probably would have more intelligent listeners, but...
Are you saying Weem's not intelligent?
No, I love Weem. But, it's some of the other people I'm a little worried about.
Yeah. I'm surprised there's actually not other people in this conversation tonight. So anyways, we took part in Ener-Con 10 days ago.
10 days ago. Yes, get with the math.
We had our 7-Eleven ghost pepper eating chicken thing contest, and I'm butchering every sentence possible tonight just because I can.
That was pretty interesting, and I beat you. I actually think we need to go back and check the video, though.
I do think we need to go back and check the video. And
I'm not just saying this because I went off and beat you by such a wide margin as to eating them, but I'm honestly questioning whether or not I was missing a couple of wings. Instead of having 15, I only had 13, and you had 17. Or I had 17, and you only had 13, and then that would be even more embarrassing for you if you're a kid.
Your math has not made sense. Your math does make sense.
Yeah.
Wow. Jeez. So anyways, yes, you won. But
God,
the
no.
most important thing about that is the fact that we had an audience who was not booing us. We have to point out they were not booing us. They were actually videotaping us eating these chicken wings.
This actually, I mean, if you go to our Facebook page and you scroll down, it's there.
Unfortunately.
If you go,
no one puked.
If you go on Twitter, it is also been posted on Twitter as well.
We're Twitter famous,
and it hasn't been posted on YouTube because we didn't have a third phone to go off and to do that.
We also didn't have enough hands.
Well, our hands were kind of full and
sticky and chicken saucy.
I'm telling you this, and this is shout out to Eagle. Eagle actually, like you and I, we got through it, relatively easy. I think I was about 2/3 of the way through.
I did suffer from some nasty heartburn for the rest of the day.
I didn't suffer through that. What I did is, I got about 10 wings in, and it started to hurt. And afterwards, I went off and, wash my hands, wash my face to get the sauce off. And it hurt. I mean, it hurt for a little bit. You went off and you got yourself a Timbit, a couple Timbits, and you ate them.
But see, what happens after the competition is already done is besides the point. Because the whole thing was about eating them, not how we're gonna kill ourselves for the rest. And if I didn't have that donut in my mouth, which, by the way, was absolutely delicious.
Timbits are terrible. I'd rather have
when you have a mouth that is burning, Timbits are delicious.
Yeah, I know, it was interesting. Eagle wants us to go off and do another chicken wing contest, but he wants to go off and get, you and I, we looked at this. It's like, okay, it was spicy, but I mean, look how many wings it took before you and I really started to feel the pain.
Yeah, it was kind of a disappointment. I do want to actually have a legit, spicy wing. Eat. Maybe not 15. Definitely, maybe 5.
You're on your own, bud. I don't think I'm gonna go off and do that again. To be honest,
I think I would definitely be willing.
I'm telling you that was kind of. I mean, it hurt.
It did hurt, and unfortunately, you would think ghost peppers. Yes, it would hurt the next day. These did not.
Well, I mean, come on. We both know that they weren't actually made with ghost pepper chili.
No, they were habaneros, which are spicy themselves, but they were good.
They were good.
I actually wanted more after.
So, but I mean, there was a lot of other stuff that also happened on top of that. I mean, again, that was a highlight. But
we'll start with the first thing that happened on Saturday morning, other than breakfast, which was the best part of the day.
Bacon.
The fact that bacon magically appeared on my plate without having to ask. It's the weirdest thing ever. I'm not even talking or acknowledging or recognizing that there's human beings around me, because I had an hour and a half of sleep leading up to this, and somehow I looked at my plate that was behind this counter, and it's not just a little bit of bacon. We're talking heaped with bacon and sausages. So it was kind of entertaining.
Yeah, and again, I mean, thank you very much to the chefs that were did the buffet at Canada Inn at the.
You were my favorite people.
Your favorite people. I mean, it was a good way to go off and to start it. To be honest,
I usually don't like people that early in the morning, but they gave me bacon, so they're okay.
Okay, so I mean, that was definitely a good way to start. If you guys, you really need to go back and check out our Facebook page. So just search Captain Fist and the Masked Man on Facebook, and you can go to our page. Scroll down. There's a lot of Facebook Live videos that we went off and did throughout the weekend,
including our first interview of the weekend, which was Richard Newman.
Oh my goodness!
We had. I think we have, the interview itself was really great, but what happened later in the weekend, I think, was far better experience for us. I was behind the camera, but you had the ultimate experience.
This was fun. So one of the things they did at Ener-Con is one of the staff from Ener-Con itself went off and wrote a script for an episode of Transformers Beast Wars. And Richard Newman, of course, went off and was Rhinox. And I got to, I, being the foolish person I am, went off and, signed up to be the narrator. Not understanding why anyone else would have done that until I sat down and realized how much the narrator actually has to say.
I think you actually said a couple lines more than you had to. I think you actually read someone else's part.
I think I did. I was a little confused as to... The whole thing was a little confusing, but it was... I've always wanted to do something like this, where to... and again, next time we do Ener-Con, if they have an opportunity, I'm going to jump at it, but I'm going to go off and do one of the Transformer roles, so I can actually try to use one of my voices.
See, my favorite part is being behind the camera. I know I wasn't really planning to videotape this. Well, I was planning a little bit, and then when you volunteered and when Rob from Ener-Con actually asked me if we were going to tape it. It was kind of a no-brainer to get involved on that, and it was definitely worth it. All the people who came up with their voices, who, by far better than any voice I could possibly imagine, because I